Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I wanted to sit down and share just a reflection back on how the good and the beautiful has blessed my life as a homeschooling mom, as well as my homeschool in general and my children's lives individually. I've been using the good and the beautiful in my homeschool for almost 10 years. And so I thought it would be a good time for me to sit down and share with you guys a little bit of a reflective video on just how wonderful they have been to me and just their materials in our homeschool. And I want to thank the good and the beautiful for partnering with me on today's video. So this video is definitely going to be one that is specific to my journey as a homeschooling mom. Please keep in mind that no two journeys are the same. However, I do think that what I will share with you guys will encourage you if you are the good and the beautiful user, and if you are not, may spark some interest, may create some curiosity to just hear the testament of someone who has utilized their resources for so long. All right, you guys, so with all things, I do always prepare for my videos prior to me delivering information to you guys, and I do have my notepad right here that I wrote down what I wanted to share. These are the 10 ways the good and the beautiful has blessed my homeschool after almost a decade of using their curriculum. And so if you see me glancing down, that is what I am looking at. So the first one is the good and the beautiful has blessed my homeschool and honestly me as a homeschooling mom with so many years of learning with all four of my kids together. Now, if you are not, familiar with homeschooling, you might not understand that, but not all curriculum is meant to be used across grade levels. And so the fact that the good and the beautiful has science units that span vast grade age ranges, as well as their history curriculum, it just has blessed me with those memories of teaching all four of my kids, ranging currently from 16 down to 11 now. But a few years ago, those age ranges, we were still all learning together in those moments, and those are memories I will hold near and dear to my heart for the rest of my life. And I am so thankful to the good and the beautiful for creating resources that allow moms to have those memories and those experiences with their multiple children all at one time. It's something that I really can't even quantify how thankful I am into words. The second way that the good and the beautiful has blessed my life and my homeschool after almost a decade of using it is by simplifying and streamlining so many things in my homeschool. Once upon a time, I was a beginning homeschool mom, and I did not feel fully confident in how I was doing it, what I was doing, and I was managing a lot of little kids at one time. I think it's easy for people to jump into my journey now and see where I'm at now and think, okay, well, that looks pretty manageable, but she's got older kids. Yes, but all these older children were once younger and a lot, more. There was just a lot more to it then. I needed to work with every single one of them individually on language arts or on math, and that is time consuming. And so when the good and the beautiful came along and I found them, it was like an answer to prayer for me, because I didn't have to worry about finding art curriculum. I didn't have to worry about including different memorization. I didn't have to worry about finding a reading curriculum and a geography curriculum. Everything became so streamlined, and it was so much more manageable for me as a homeschooling mom that I truly believe that it kept me going at some points. I feel like if I wouldn't have found the good and the beautiful that early on in my homeschool for the specific things that I needed something for, I may have chosen something terrible just out of sheer overwhelm. And so I am so thankful to the good and the beautiful for the blessing that it provided my family and my homeschool with streamlining things and simplifying things. Sometimes we think that more is better, but actually it's quite the opposite. And so being able to do less while still covering all the bases it's just such a blessing, and it really transformed my homeschooling journey. The third way that the good and the beautiful has blessed my homeschool, again, goes back to the memories, because these are the memories, and I'm still making them currently at this time. It's just different, but I have so many memories of doing fun activities and experiments with the science units we've done, and history games, and just all the things that come along with the good and the beautiful. I love the science units, how they're broken into unit studies, and there's always an engaging activity, and sometimes we would end up laughing because something would go wrong. Sometimes my kids would think something was absolutely hilarious and I wasn't anticipating it, and we would all end up laughing. Some of the things have just been really memorable, and they still talk about, remember when we did all that sand in the kitchen and the water dye, and I wanted to save it when we were done, and you let me keep it for a few days and play with it in the backyard. That was something from marine biology. And so there's just so many memories that have come through using their curriculum for myself and my children, and it is honestly such a blessing to have those memories of homeschooling and doing all kinds of crazy things in our kitchen and in our backyard. The fourth way that the good and the beautiful has blessed our homeschool and all of our lives is it has increased our love and appreciation for beauty and nature. That is something that I've instilled in my children from a very young age, but the good and the beautiful has just supported that and encouraged that and fostered that love through the beautiful art that they contain in their language arts and the different things that we are learning and studying, looking at paintings of various artists, learning in geography about beautiful places in the world and seeing the actual photographs, and even in language arts, learning about the benefits of studying nature and all of these things. So it's just made my kids really aware of the beauty that surrounds us, that God has created, down to a little leaf or a flower. And it's done that in me as well. And so I'm so grateful that we found a curriculum that not only can cultivate that if it's something new, but can also encourage and support that if that's already something that is in your hearts. And so the good and the beautiful has done that for us, and it's just wonderful to see. Still, when we travel, we go on vacation, we visit national parks, my kids really take in their surroundings, and I know that learning how to do that has partially come from using the Good and the Beautiful's curriculum. The fifth way that the Good and the Beautiful has blessed our homeschool is that they have just offered so many wonderful stories and books to us over the years, from the very early days with the very beginner books to the books contained in the highest level of language arts that they offer. These are books that I probably would not have chosen for my children to read if it were just up to me, because there's so many books to read out there. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have come across these exact ones, but I'm just so thankful for the Good and the Beautiful's work and diligence in providing excellent literature through their curriculums, not only for just making it academically wonderful and challenging, but also every story containing good content, strong family relationships, moral lessons, all of that is so important. And so we are so thankful to the Good and the Beautiful for supplying us with so many wonderful books through the years. The next way that the Good and the Beautiful has blessed my homeschool is been by keeping my children engaged and challenged in just the right way. I really can't describe this, and of course this is going to be particular to every, specific to every child, but at least for me, across the board with all four of my kids, there have been pieces and assignments that maybe they didn't want to do, because no child wants to do every single thing. But as a whole, I would say, looking back on the last, 8-9 years, the Good and the Beautiful has kept my children engaged and not really, oh, I don't want to do that. It's manageable. It's just the right amount of challenge. And we've used all of the subjects that they offer. And I would say that this is true across the board. The next way the Good and the Beautiful has blessed our homeschool, which truly became evident to me this year, has been teaching them how to become wonderful writers from a very early age. I was asked and still am asked constantly about the writing portion of the Good and the Beautiful, and people are always say, did you add another writing curriculum, for your kids? And I never did, because I just always felt like they were writing enough in their language arts curriculums. And so we just stuck with that, and I would, correct it, revise it. They, from the very beginning in language arts with the Good and the Beautiful, learning how to write a complete sentence, to then learning how to write a complete paragraph, to then taking that paragraph and writing 300-word essays, and then into high school where they get asked to write a 2,000-word essay. All these steps and bricks that get stacked upon each other is just such a beautiful thing to see. And the reason why I say that I've really been able to recognize that this year is because my daughter is doing amazing in her English class that she is enrolled in college for. And if you've ever taken a college English course, it's like 90% writing. And so she's been able to recognize the light years ahead she is above her peers in that class, some of which are my age, simply because she has that foundation that was built through the curriculum from the Good and the Beautiful, as well as, my teaching and facilitating. But the Good and the Beautiful really has made all of my children really, really great writers without doing anything outside of just their language arts. The next way it goes along with that one is that the Good and the Beautiful has prepared and will continue to prepare my children for whatever is ahead for them academically. When we take our kids out of public school, charter school, private school, and we bring them home to homeschool, we obviously want them to be able to succeed in their lives. That's the motivation, and succeed obviously in many other ways besides academically, but academic success is something that I think we want to see in our children, especially if our children desire to do something beyond high school that involves continuing education. So I'm not saying everyone should follow that path, but if that is the path that they feel God is calling them to, then we want them to be as prepared as possible for that. And the Good and the Beautiful has done that so well. Again, I've seen a lot of that fruit this year and this past summer as we prepared for these new uncharted waters, and I'm just so grateful because now I get the privilege of being a homeschool mom that has hindsight, and a homeschooling mom with hindsight is a very valuable homeschooling mom, because now my younger two kids, I have zero worries. I have zero doubts. Like, we are so good. I know we are going to be great. And that is just so nice when you can rest in that peace and you don't have to be wondering, if maybe you should be doing that or if they should try this or that. And so the Good and the Beautiful has prepared my oldest children so well for what is next for them. And then the last two ways that the Good and the Beautiful has really blessed my homeschool and me personally, these are specific to me. And the first way is that the Good and the Beautiful has been a huge supporter of my channel here on YouTube, basically since I started. I have had a wonderful relationship with everybody at the Good and the Beautiful, and through the years there have been new faces who have come in and people who have moved on, and I've met so many people on the Good and the Beautiful's team and taken you guys on behind the scenes tours and done really special Q&A videos with Jenny Phillips herself. And the Good and the Beautiful has just been a supporter of Grace and Grit, not just me personally as a homeschooling mom, but of my channel for a very long time. And I think about all of the women that I have been able to reach through my channel that have seen me homeschooling and thought, man, that looks like what I need to get, and then have taken the leap to trying the good and the beautiful because they saw it working so well for my family, and now they are thriving as well. So the good and the beautiful has just been a wonderful supporter of my channel and my ministry here on YouTube, and of me personally as a homeschooling mom, and that is not something that I will ever take for granted. The last way that the good and the beautiful has blessed my homeschool mom life has been with those amazing memories. I spoke at a convention with the good and the beautiful that when they held their own, and that was one of my very first speaking engagements, and it gave me the confidence to know that I could get up in front of 600 women, I think were there, and speak confidently about homeschooling where I was then. Now, if I were to do that again now, I would obviously talk about very different things, but they believed in me and they saw value in the way that I share. And so that opportunity was like huge for me, and it's something that I hold on to. To going out to Utah and spending time with Jenny and filming a bunch of videos with her, even though I don't think those videos ever were released. Just that time spent with her and getting to chat with her and just have fun and film was such a wonderful experience. To helping them promote the U.S. Constitution and government course, that curriculum is amazing and one of my favorite things I've ever taught in my homeschool ever. And so that experience was wonderful, and just the day-to-day communications that I have with the people that I'm in contact with at the good and the beautiful, it's just been a blessing all around, and I am so thankful to be a small little part in how the good and the beautiful has come to be what it is today. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing the 10 ways that the good and the beautiful has blessed my homeschool and my life in general. And I hope that this video was encouraging to you. If you guys have any questions, you can post them down below, and I will leave a link to the good and the beautiful's website in the description box if you would like to check it out. And I will see you guys again really soon. Bye, friends.